Hello and welcome to another one of my Sonic the Hedgehog Archie comic reviews. Been a while, but hopefully we can pick up things in the last story arc, what's happened, from issue 257 to issue 259. We start off with the Freedom Fighters back together finally and off to Save Station Square. A lot of stuff happens in this part when the characters start get reconnected with one another, all got their memories back from the previous continuity, and a lot of stuff happens like character development, story progression, and also see how they working as a team again, which was something that I felt was missing from the last continuity towards the end. And also quite a few nice Station Square references as well thrown in. And with character progression, like Sally's trying to come to terms that she was once roboticized and killed quite a few people, which is probably one of the big parts in this. And during this, we find out about Robotnik/Eggman's real plan to finally find the person he needs to for his new scheme, per se, is Professor Pickle from the Sonic Universe game. He's finally in this continuity, so that's an interesting insight on it, and this is his first appearance in Sonic Archie comics, so hopefully this can go somewhere. Also with Sonic, through his character development, you need to keep an eye on him because he does some weird facial expressions. A lot of you may be thinking, oh, he's just doing this and that and that. Now it's confirmed, essentially, we're getting the Guy arc coming into the comic. We expect the Hedgehog to turn up at some point during this comic. So yeah, after our characters finally save everyone at Station Square, our characters rejoice, but not for long when Mudskip informs the Freedom Fighters that Uncle Chuck and Professor Pickle have been kidnapped by Robotnik. This leads into our two-part story, The Chase, a part of this arc. Now on to issue 255, The Chase, Part 1. We start off with Sonic and the Freedom Fighters chasing down one of Robotnik's trains, and nice little reference to Sonic Heroes here, with the train design. Straight away I see a problem here. So many little boxes have to be read. So many, like thought bubbles, information boxes, speech bubble. It is so crowded, and I feel kind of disappointed for the artwork because it does block it, and the artwork in these comics are really beautiful too. With Sonic and the Freedom Fighters off to save Professor Picker and Charles, they run into a bit of a problem when Nicole gets into one of the carts and runs into E106 ETA. And from this point, everything you can imagine can possibly go wrong, or turn out to be even worse, happens in this. And I'll tell you one thing, they play up for laughs, and it is funny. It's funny, it's dramatic, and it's intense, which I think is a perfect balance for all the Sonic comics. Plus, we get some really good character interactions as well with development of the characters again, which basically we get a little bit of funny bit with Amy. We get some character development when we see Professor Pickle and Charles when they're talking to each other. It's really good. It's got some really good humour and some really good character development. I know I keep saying this, but it's done well. I think one of my favourite moments in this is when Amy breaks over one of the carts and she almost realised she almost blew up everyone on the train. Filled with a bunch of missiles. I thought that was done quite well. So Amy gets to go open a cart, Bunny, Rabot gets to open a cart, Sally gets to open a cart which she finds food supplies for some weird reason, which turned out all to be junk food. Does explain Robotnik's weight. And Sonic, unfortunately, gets the best cart out of the all. It filled with badniks. Loads and loads of badniks. But I've got to say, funny little thing about the badniks in here, both from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. One of them from Mushroom Hill Zone, the flying badnik, and the little scorpion-looking badnik as well, from the desert level for Sonic 3. So nice little touch there. The other thing I noticed with this as well, I don't know if they're going to do this, but they seem to be building up to a Sonic/Amy relationship a little bit, from what I can gather from this a little bit, because there've been hints in throughout the comics recently, and there was a subtle few hints in this as well, so I don't know if they're actually going to do it, but it'd be interesting, if anyone's interested in seeing it. That's the question. So part 1 of the chase finally ends with Sonic finding Professor Pickle and Professor Charles, but has one slight run-in with an E106 robot. Now on to issue 259, The Chase Part 2. So we start out with Sonic starting brawling with E106. with Professor Pickle and Charles looking on distraught. But of course, Sonic acting as his cocky self, not really taking the fight that seriously. As this is going on, there's a funny moment with Sally, Amy and Ruta when they're stuck in a cart with a foosball table which is custom designed for Robotnik's personal use. This does have a good payoff towards the end of the comic though. So yeah, during the last part, Bunny's been helping Tails and Antoine in the planes dealing with the flying bagnicks that got out of the cart, and Sonic is still trying to deal with the E-Robot, along with Amy and Sally and Ruta trying to get to him to help him out. But we see once again Sonic losing his cool, and it's turning more and more into the Werehog, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with him. That's the thing, that's the curious thing. Sure enough, again, a lot in this two-part story. Amy kicks a lot of ass in this story, and I think it's good. I really like what they're doing with Amy's character, a lot better than they do with what they do with her in the video games. So yeah, Sonic and the Freedom Fighters finally save Professor Pickle and Charles, and funny enough, it's actually Amy who takes out E-106 with the final shot. And again, they're acting a little bit flirtatious again, and I don't know, they're building up towards it, I don't know, there might be a payoff, who knows. So Sonic and the Freedom Fighter return to the Sky Patrol, and this is quite a funny bit when it starts off with Sonic saying that they forgot to get Professor Pickle's notes and research. And sure enough, Professor Pickle starts going into the backstory and explains about the Gaia stuff. And by the way, nice little hidden Easter egg to Chip, who obviously is going to be coming into the comics at some point. Don't know when, but we're going to see him at some point. And there's a good little feedback history sort of thing with Charles, with talking about the roboticizer and about Robotnik's plans and intentions, and I think it's a lot of exposition, but it does build up the character and remind you where these characters come from as well. So during this point, Charles been asking Sonic is anything has been altering or affecting him, and Sonic's basically saying no, it's not. And then we get a remindment, if you have been paying attention during these comics with Sonic's facial expressions, that he seemed to be losing it a lot. So it looks like the Gaia energy seems to be affecting him in some sort of way or manner. So yeah, towards the end, we get Robotnik finally getting his train and pretty much being destroyed completely. And again, there's a funny joke here. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but Robotnik gets what he really wants, and that's the research notes. So yeah, overall, how do I feel about this little arc they've just told here? I think it's done pretty well. It has some very good drama, some very good character development, and some funny bits in it as well. Really hams up some of the stuff within it, and I love the current writing. The writing in this is that it has a load of little, and the artwork as well. It has so many little references, callbacks with its dialogue, its artwork. Everything down to the last detail, and I love every single little bit of it. But yeah, overall, good comic. If I have to give this a rating, I would have to give the overall arc a 8, to be honest. I really didn't find any problem with it, apart from probably too many speech box in some parts of these comics, and yeah, that's about it. I recommend go and pick this arc up. You're going to enjoy it, and it has some really good moments, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do now leading into the Gaia arc. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.